Welcome to Cyber Center for Biblical Studies. Hi, my name is Herb Bateman. This morning we have with me Scott Barger from the New Horizons Community Church in Warsaw, Indiana. He's the pastor of the church. And he's going to field a few questions to me, questions that were raised as a result of the last YouTube presentation. So Scott, why don't you share with me one of the questions that came up?
Sure. Herb, you had said in the last video, you mentioned wanting to help folks like me, pastors or teachers, to work smarter, not harder. What did you mean by that?
Well, that's an excellent example or an excellent question of what I'm going to try to do. And let's look at the book of Jude. For the next 6 months, we're going to look at the book of Jude and study and introduce Jude to a pastor who may never have preached Jude, maybe has never studied Jude. So how might I go about studying Jude? How can I streamline the sources that I choose? And how might I select those sources with some intelligence? So what I like to do is let's just think about introductory issues. Introductory issues concerning Jude.
And that will help us look at resources.
That's exactly right.
Pick which resources might be most beneficial.
That's exactly right. And let's do that right now. A commentator's view of authorship sometimes affects other introductory issues for the book of Jude. For instance, if a commentator does not believe Jude, the brother of James, wrote the letter, then it may affect the recipients, the destination, dating, and the occasion for the writing of the book of Jude. The recipients are oftentimes perceived as being Gentiles. The destination tends to be Asia Minor, Antioch, Syria, or Alexandria, Egypt. Generally, those who don't believe Jude wrote the letter will argue that Jude was written between the 80s and 160s, and that the occasion was to address Gnostic false teachers. The Gnostic false teacher view is oftentimes held by French and German commentators, though there are some English commentators who hold this view. A well-known commentator is Kelly from England, has written a commentary on the epistles of Peter and Jude, and he does not believe that Jude, the brother of James, wrote the letter. He does believe that the letter was written to Gentile believers sometime between 80 and 90, and that this letter is addressing Gnostic false teachers. If a commentator does believe Jude, the brother of James, wrote the letter, then the recipients oftentimes are viewed as Jewish Christians. The destination is considered to be Judea, or perhaps the diaspora surrounding Judea. The dating of Jude tends then to be between the 40s and 80s, and the occasion is Christian false teachers, not Gnostic false teachers, but Christian false teachers. The Christian false teacher view is one often held by evangelical commentators. Davids of the Pillar Commentary series and Green of the Baker Exegetical Commentary series believes Jude addresses Judean believers before the temple's destruction in 70, and that Jude confronts Christian false teachers. Two other commentaries worth noting are Hebert's commentary and De Silva's commentary. Naturally, exceptions exist. For instance, Harrington. Harrington does not believe that Jude wrote the letter. Thus, Jude is addressing Gentile Christians. Gentile Christians that are living in Asia Minor or Antioch, sometime during the 80s and the 100s. But rather than addressing Gnostic false teachers, Harrington believes that Jude is addressing Christian false teachers. So what I put together, realizing that segment is only going to identify 6 commentators, I've put together a series of charts that identify commentators within a series, like the Baker Exegetical Commentary series, the Pillar Commentary series, the Word Biblical Commentary series. So I go through each one of those series and identify the commentator, the author for Jude and 2 Peter, and I list for you in chart format, and you can buy with some sense of intelligence. So if you don't want to deal with the Gnostic false teacher view, You just buy the commentaries or look at the commentaries that deal with the Christian false teacher view, cutting to the chase, cutting out some of that grunt work for you. I'm the grunt. You get the blessing and just get right at it.
Very good, very good. Well, hey, how about a bonus question? If you had to pick one, other than yours, what's your favorite commentary on Jude?
Probably my favorite commentary would be Gene Green's commentary in the Baker Exegetical Commentary series. He's done an extremely fine job in his presentation. His view of the letter is similar to mine. He sees it as both being admonition to the Jewish writer, to the Jewish audience, Christian audience, plus there's a scathing middle section in it. And we'll talk more about that in a forthcoming segment.